Test, test, 1 2 1 2. Jay Murray's back with you as we get set to start our second game of our exciting WashU soccer doubleheader. The WashU men prevailed over Carnegie Mellon earlier this afternoon by a score of 1-0. Daniel Cawhin's goal in the 12th minute stood up for the remainder of the match, and Luca Villalone had the assist. So now, with that result in the books, we now have a very important match on the women's side in the UAA to bring to you as number 2 WashU takes on number 19 Carnegie Mellon. All the teams in the UAA are nationally ranked entering this weekend. Emory number 1, WashU number 2, Chicago is 5th, Case Western Reserve 6th, Brandeis 13th, Carnegie Mellon 19th, Rochester 21st, and NYU 25th. So, needless to say, the UAA on the women's side, toughest conference in Division III soccer. And we'll see how things go here as these teams run through the gauntlet of the UAA schedule. Whoever survives the gauntlet is conference champion. WashU trying to repeat as conference champion and national champion as well in Division III. So we're glad you're here on Flow Sports to help me. And we'll watch this action together and we will see how things go. Right now, starting lineups.
Washington University in St. Louis for today's UAA matchup between the Carnegie Mellon University Tartans and your WashU Bears. Today's game is a Latin Heritage game in partnership with the CDI and Cross-Cultural Connection. Cross-Cultural Connection's mission is to create an affirming space for all WashU students to connect and celebrate their culture. Washington University and the UAA are committed to the principles of good sportsmanship. We ask for your cooperation by supporting one another and the officials in a positive manner. Now, let's meet today's starters. First, for the visiting Tartans. A defender, number 7, Molly Coyne. A midfielder, number 8, Vivian Wang. A forward, number 10, Severia Oyuwizi. A midfielder, number 15, Alma Zong. A defender, number 17, Helena Locatelli. A midfielder, number 20, Margarita Memoli. A midfielder, number 21, Skylar Hendricks. A forward, number 23, Audrey Blanca. A midfielder, number 24, Emma Kim. A midfielder, number 35, Caitlin McGuire. And in goal, number 1, Abby O'Connor. Carnegie Mellon is coached by Jan Struble and assisted by Chris Moraga and Michael Dowden. And now, the starters for your WashU Bears. A midfielder, number 2, Sophie Vescovic. A defender, number 3, Allie Carlton. A defender, number 6, Kira Smizer. A defender, number 8, Reagan Cannon. A forward, number 10, Maddie Foley. A forward, number 11, Ella Colina. A forward, number 12, Tammy Colton. A defender, number 21, Casey Carl. A forward, number 28, Grace Ayler. A midfielder, number 34, Kate Martin. And a goal, number 33, Cassidy Lantier. WashU is coached by Jim Conlon and assisted by Taylor Imming, Amanda Kessler, and Sid Connor. WashU Athletics strives.
So those are the starters for both teams. And for WashU, a little bit of a recap along with Carnegie Mellon and how they've gotten to this point this season. WashU is 12-0-1 overall, number 2 in the United Soccer Coaches Top 25. WashU had a 1-1 tie at Trine on September 14th, the only blemish, so to speak, in the record that WashU has so far. The tie has been followed by 7 consecutive wins for WashU, the last 2 in conference play, outscoring those opponents in conference play 31-2. Also, and actually in the 7 wins, the outcome 31-2 in favor of WashU collectively. As far as here at Francis Field, WashU has a 21-game unbeaten streak at home, 19-0-2. And also the WashU Bears have an unbeaten streak overall of 38 consecutive matches. 35-0-3 are the Bears in their last 38 matches. The last loss was back to Cal Lutheran in the NCAA Division III National Championship match 2 seasons ago, back on December 2nd of 2023. So again, the Bears are on a great roll, unbeaten in the last 38 matches overall, unbeaten here at Francis Olympic Field in the last 21 home games. Bears are tied for first place in the UA standings with Chicago entering today. Each have 2-0 records in conference play. WashU's had 22 straight seasons, minus the COVID year, of double-digit wins. WashU's run 17 outright or shared UA championships. Carnegie Mellon's 9-2 overall, number 19 in the rankings. Carnegie Mellon 0-1 in the UA, tied for 5th with only 1 point. So like the Carnegie men, the Tartan women need a win today to stay close to the top of the UA table. Tough start to the UA schedule as Carnegie Mellon tied Emory in a scoreless match. Lost 2-1 to Chicago. Both matches were at home, and those two results snapped a 5-game winning streak. Last year, Carnegie Mellon was tied for second in the UA with Rochester, 6 points behind UA champ WashU. And Carnegie Mellon's had a very good run since 2019, 74, 19, and 11 under head coach Jan Struble. The Tartans have reached the NCAA tournament in each of the last 6 full seasons. So some bullet point notes to keep in mind. WashU has the all-time rivalry advantage over Carnegie Mellon, 25-5-3. But the Bears are only 1-1-1 against Carnegie Mellon in the last 3 meetings and only 3-2-1 against them in the last 6. As we're underway, WashU trying to play fast off the opening touch. Smizer tried to feed it ahead to Colpitts. Martin comes in to try to move the ball forward. Ulitzi trying to move it back into the Tartans' way of thinking, try to move from left to right. The Tartans are heading to your right, WashU heading to your left as you watch here from our vantage point here at Francis Olympic Field in the press box. Coyne trying to get that ball lofted and move it. Meanwhile, though, a good steering by McGuire to keep it away from Ehlert. And so now the Tartans try to move upfield. They got to the middle third, and Kate Martin intercepts that pass. Casey Carl, the ball heavy off her boots, and Carnegie with a chance perhaps, but that pass was scuffed a bit. And so Smizer helps out and diffuses that situation before it gets to be a problem. Colpitts bounces the ball off her defender. And with that, it'll be a throw for WashU. Smizer lofts. Coleno got her first touch. Couldn't do much with it. And so now steering the ball upfield. We'll see what can be done here by Carnegie Mellon as they try to move the ball up. And doing the job there, Vivian Wang was trying to head upfield with it. And eventually, now it'll be McGuire that will try to connect upfield. Pass to Wang, past her reach, and Lanthier, the goalkeeper for the Bears, clad in her red goalkeeping uniform. The all-red kit, jersey and shorts, and red stockings. Lanthier's done a great job. 6-0-1 so far, splitting time this season with Susie Green for the most part. This is one again, Carnegie Mellon can't keep that one in play. So a good attempt there to try to keep it in, but instead, WashU has another throw in. So just underway, WashU and Carnegie Mellon battling here. WashU tie with Chicago atop the UA table as the start of the day unfolds. And Carnegie Mellon needs a win to move up the table and to try to stay within arm's reach of first place. Much like the Carnegie Mellon men, who were desperate for a win earlier this afternoon, but they didn't get it. And now they're 7 points behind WashU with only, I think, 4 matches left. That is a tough ask for an advance up the table in that manner. So Smizer will have a throw in close to the corner. Fakes a throw in now, gets the ball placed at the feet of Coleno. And the chip, and it's in the back of the net. WashU has a very early goal from Sophie Viskovich. It rolled innocently to her, and she put a boot to it that nobody could catch. In the back of the nets in the 4th minute, and WashU has a very early 1-0 lead. Sophie Viskovich with the goal. So for Viskovich, her 4th goal of the season. She leads the team. Actually, she's one behind as far as shots to Olivia Clemens entering the game. 54 for Viskovich, 55 shots for Clemens. But Sophie has been robbed a few times, just hadn't got the right result from her shots. She got the right result there. Beautifully placed, upper right corner. It wasn't a booming shot, but it was just enough to keep it out of the reach of O'Connor, the goalkeeper for Carnegie Mellon. And Sophie Viskovich has given WashU a very early 1-0 lead. Abby O'Connor, a very good goalkeeper. We'll go over the key players for both teams as we continue here early in this first half. Then Coyne scuffs that one out of bounds to relieve the pressure. So WashU applying a lot of pressure early. Smizer with a throw in. Kleno tried to head it to Ehlert. Has on Grace's foot and a firm shot taken. And stopped by O'Connor. And there was a whistle before that, so that negated the shot. So the Tartans find themselves down 1-0 early. Colpitt's playing it back to Smizer, who then has it scuffed off the top of her boot out of bounds. As far as the offensive numbers overall, WashU has a goal-scoring average of 4.08 goals per game, just over 4 goals a game. Carnegie Mellon at 2.23 goals per game, so that's a pretty good mark in its own right, but the Bears have really been a goal-scoring juggernaut so far this season, averaging 4 per game, 53 goals total for the Bears through 13 matches. Kleno somehow was able to tap that ahead to Ehlert in traffic. Carl steps up to make sure that didn't get back deep in WashU territory. Rolled ahead to Kleno. Tried a nutmeg. McGuire stops that attempt, at least forcing a throw in, but now WashU again playing quickly off the throw in. Colpitt's in the corner and the ball heavy off her boot. I think she was trying to coax that ball, maybe bouncing off of Coyne for a corner, but instead it's a goal kick. Equalizing goal here. And the 30-mile-per-hour wind blows the ball off the arc of the corner. Corner played on a wing. And then a chip is sent high and wide. So they try to play it short, then get the ball fed inside for a chance. Elena Locatelli chips it wide of the far post, or near post rather, so it's going to be WashU with a goal kick. Again, the weather feature that is most impressive today and perhaps most impactful is the gusty winds today. Had a lot of rain yesterday, last night. That's all moved away, but in the midst, the cold fronts move through. We've had gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour from left to right, basically, as you look out here. So it's in the face of the WashU Bears here in the first half. So the Bears fortunate to have a 1-0 lead with the wind in its face as Martin tried to spin away, and she is pulled down, a foul called. And the foul called against Margarita Mamoli. So Martin's unfazed by all that. She's a tough customer in the midfield. Viskovich, who has the lone goal of the match so far, that was in the 4th minute. We'll see if there's an assist along the way as Ehlert picks up the loose ball. Grace trying to get past 2 defenders. Plays it out to Colpitts. Cami draws a crowd, but draws a chance to get away from the crowd. A shot on goal, and in 2 hops, it's picked up by Abby O'Connor. So WashU's trying to pressure play fast. Now they're just trying to get out of the zone without any more anxiety, but WashU keeps the ball at least in the middle third. Martin, Colpitts trying to tap it back to Smizer, who got behind Smizer, but It's tracked down without incident. Cannon now to Carl. Back to Cannon. Reagan sees a chance to move up a bit. Colino turns, try to pass. It's deflected. McGuire picks it up. And got it to the least middle third, but Smizer stepped in to keep the pressure on. Allie Goulding pressuring and forcing the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Bears. Audrey Bianco trying to keep the ball away. So an assist on the Viskovich goal goes to Ella Coleno. So Coleno has her 8th assist now to lead the team. So Coleno 8 assists now to lead the team. And WashU has a 1-0 lead as Lanthier comes beyond the penalty area, well beyond it, to make sure that Ulitzi could not get a chance to score. So a foul in the meantime against WashU. And it's going to be a free kick sent near side. Coyne started the sequence, but couldn't make a good connection there to Skylar Hendricks, and so another throw in for the Tartans. Let's see, off her boot heavy. Coleno steps in to pick it up. To Viskovich. Now back to Carl as WashU trying to build from the back line here. Good feed into the wind there that got the ball to the middle third for Ehlert, but Grace have to keep that ball reeled in. Ball got away and eventually picked up by Carnegie Mellon. Ball beyond the touch line, and it will be a Bear throw in. In the meantime, an early substitution for head coach Jim Conlon of WashU. And the throw in deflects out of bounds. Foley throws it in quickly for Coleno. And let's see, Monica Morales-Martinez is checked in as Cannon plays this back to Lanthier, who this gusty wind had taken all the steam out of that clearance and went straight up in the air. And fortunately, the Bears were able to surround the ball as it came back down to prevent any further complications. Not Lanthier's fault. She tried to boom it upfield as far as she could. That's how strong the wind is blowing right now. Gusts of up to 35 miles an hour. That's been that way since the start of our doubleheader today for the men's game. This one chipped forward. Lanthier decides to play it at her feet. Now picks it up. So WashU very fortunate to have a goal, to have a 1-0 lead with the wind gusting in its face. The Bears have to be very poised with the ball at their feet as Ulitzi is hoping for a misplay. Don't get that very often from the WashU backline. Very sure-footed individuals. Carl steps into that one to send it near side. Coyne looks over her shoulder, decides to take the ball for a throw-in. Picked up eventually by Ehlert. Smizer. Colpitz had it picked away and out of bounds by Coyne. WashU will have a throw-in at the center line. So we're in the 18th minute. A foul on Carnegie Mellon gives WashU a free kick opportunity within striking distance of the goal. Viskovich will have the free kick. She has the lone goal of the match so far. She'll measure up where she wants to place this to try to give WashU a 2-0 lead here in the first half. Good service in, but just beyond Ehlert's reach. It's beyond the end line, and it was touched by Carnegie Mellon, so it's a corner kick for WashU. Smizer walks up to the ball to get the corner kick underway. WashU has an edge over Carnegie Mellon in corner kicks on average. 6.5 to 4.4 as far as the corner kicks per game. Cluster of players at the far post for both teams. It's like a crowded bus stop waiting for this. Line drive, and that's struck by Foley, and that might have, glanced off the post before Foley could get to it. And this one sent back in. Is O'Connor able to get it? So that corner somehow avoided the big cluster of players for both teams. And Foley, I think, got ahead to it and was close to the far post, but nothing doing. And meanwhile, a collision between Smizer and another player. So again, this is a conference game. Skylar Hendricks and Smizer collided there. No foul either way. Throw in for the Bears. Tap by Colpitts to Coleno. McGuire saw that coming and did a good job of keeping the ball away from Coleno with a chance for Ella to go in and make life miserable for O'Connor. Smizer lofts across just past Ehlertz and off the line and beyond the 6. Defender there helping out. That was Zong that was able to get to that. And WashU with relentless pressure. Hendricks taps it out of bounds to relieve it for the moment, but Smizer wants to play this quickly. Let's see where she wants to toss here. Leno tried to curl it ahead. Ehlert not able to get to that. Cannon with a thumping header back deep in Carnegie Mellon territory. Ehlert gets to this one. And she gets a corner kick as she tried to cross, thinking that I might be able to bounce it off McGuire, and that's what happened. So WashU has a corner kick to utilize, trying to go up by a 2-0 count here. A little more than 24 minutes left in the first half. WashU has a 1-0 lead over Carnegie Mellon. And as before, a crowded bus stop waiting for this corner kick. Now the players scatter as the corner is launched. A header not on frame. Meanwhile, Smizer tried to sneak one through and then tries to get another shot away and then gets another corner. And that will be a corner kick. I was thinking that maybe the ball came back to touch Smizer, but it did not do so. So another corner kick. This time Viskovich will launch. And instead of clustering in front of the frame, now there's a cluster of players for both teams just inside the penalty area. Viskovich with the corner. Arcing, knocked down by O'Connor. Loose ball. Ehlert tried to feed the wing. Colpitts picks it up. Try to get it inside to Martin. And finally, the ball is sent beyond the penalty area for a moment. Foley trying to make sure that the counterattack is not started. As Audra Bianco was trying to head upfield. But Foley, not only is she very strong, but she's very fast as well. O'Connor with the wind at her back, a nice long clearance, and Casey Carlson get on her horse and gallop to this one to make sure that doesn't result in a goal-scoring opportunity for the Tartans. A couple of substitutions coming in now for Carnegie Mellon as WashU leads 1-0. It's like Hendricks and Bianco will exit. In the match, Natalie Race, and Haley Peak. Those are two frequent reserves that are utilized by Jan Struble. So they're in the match to try to get an equalizing goal here. And Cannon had to make sure that she kind of sidestepped, and then that gave her a chance to move back toward the ball to control it. If she didn't pivot and move back, there might have been a chance for a Race to move to the ball. Coleno now to Colpitts. A nice subtle Side boot feed. Colpitts races with the ball at her feet. The cross underway, and that's over O'Connor's head. Foley kept it in play for a moment. Now it's going to be cleared by the Tartans, at least to the middle third, but Smizer, with help from Martin, keeps it into a good goal-scoring chance for Colpitts. Couldn't get Ehlert connected. Cammy with a second chance, goes through two defenders, trying to get past the third, and goes down. There might be a penalty called here. Or is it against Colpitts? Colpitts and a Tartan player vying for the ball. That's McGuire. There's going to be a foul called just outside the penalty area by about a foot. I think that's the right call. I didn't think the foul was committed totally inside the box. It was at the edge of the penalty area, so about a foot outside the front line of the penalty area is where WashU will have a free kick. And a gorgeous chance to make it a 2-0 score on the scoreboard as we're past the midway point of the first half. We're in the 24th minute. Viskovich and Colpitts and Foley confer of who's going to take this. A three-person mini wall separates the WashU trio from the goalkeeper, Abby O'Connor. And we'll see who's going to take this. There may be a fake step over, another player taking this, or maybe Viskovich decides to take matters into her own feet. Officials making sure everything's in place. There's no shenanigans. He steps off the wall properly to where there's a proper distance between the wall and Viskovich. Here we go. Free kick with a great chance for WashU to go up 2-0. Colpitts got a pass and is knocked down by the Carnegie defense, and I believe Race got a deflection on that. Oh, and Coleno tried to wheel and turn and almost was able to connect with Ehlert, but that is deflected beyond the end line for another corner kick for WashU. Coleno exits, very active as usual, and Olivia Clemens comes in. Olivia Clemens is instant offense. She's a microwave. 9 goals this season, one behind Ehlert as far as the team lead in goals. Let's see if she has an immediate impact on trying to add to a 1-0 lead. WashU's trying to make it 2-0 here. Constant pressure applied by the Bears throughout the entire first half to this point. Morales Martinez keeps it chipped in. Carl then steps in to keep a counterattack from developing, and the ball bounces out of bounds beyond the touchline. Ball nudged out of bounds. Quick throw in for the Tartans. That didn't even reach the field of play. There might have been let's see. Yeah, that throw in didn't get in front of the touchline and to the field of play, so WashU now is a throw in. Foley want to throw it in really quickly, but the lead official says not that quick. This one skitters to Clemens. Olivia can't turn with the ball, but she does get a throw in. Quickly thrown in over Clemens' head. Clemens gets to it. And good job there of slowing down Clemens a bit, at least. And the WashU Bears, the Tartans might think there's 14 or 15 Bears on the field, the way the Bears are pressuring. Foley off the bounce. The volley shot is behind the net. It'll be a goal kick for Carnegie Mellon. So WashU has the lead, 1-0 on a goal in the 4th minute. Sophie Viskovich, her 4th of the season. Ella Coleno with her 8th assist of the season to lead the team. That's where we are right now. Ehlert had a chance in the 9th minute, but Abby O'Connor was able to cut down the angle and make herself as big as possible. And Ehlert sent a shot wide around her. Carl races to this. Lanthier says, I'll go ahead and scoop it up. Lanthier transferred from the University of Iowa along with Kira Smizer. Lanthier was just caught in a numbers game in Iowa. Highly touted goalkeeper out of high school. Sometimes it's a numbers game. It's a coach preference type of situation. I don't know what happened there, but Lanthier just never did see a lot of action at Iowa, so we're very glad that she transferred here because she has emerged as the starting goalkeeper, at least in conference play. Foley exits after a breather, so Clemens now moves to the near side. Annika Park makes her first appearance for the Bears on the field. Smizer with a throw-in. Clemens with a player behind her, and those two players for the Tartans collide. Clemens trying to get past, somehow does, and nicely taken away there. Without incident, without any further, Mamoli did a great job of taking the ball away without a foul or anything else to complicate things. Ehlert trying to get the ball, and a nudge. Ehlert tried to put on the brakes and control the intensity of the nudge, but still made contact. Foul called on Ehlert, so it's Carnegie Mellon in its own territory. One thing that the opponents of WashU have to deal with is the overall team speed of the Bears. Very few teams can match this team speed, and so that's why it seemed like it, for opponents, it might seem that there are 14 or 15 Bears on the field because the Bears are very quick to the ball, and there's really not a lot of chances to get a little tic-tac-toe passing game going. Not many chances to get into a gap of a defensive effort. This one on a free kick that was blown forward, and so Coyne says, well, why not? Actually, that wasn't Coyne that was taking that. Locatelli took that with the ball in motion because of the wind was blowing it. And Smizer protects the end line. Didn't touch it. And so it'll be a goal kick for WashU as Natalie Race tried to get to it and couldn't. Casey Carl gets a breather, and in her place, Eddie Soroka. So head coach Jim Conlon keeping fresh legs on the field. They're talented legs off the bench in reserve. Lanthier that's a pretty good line drive, goal kick. You get the ball up too high, and then the ball gets knocked down by the wind, or at least stopped. But that was a good low line drive by Lanthier. They got the ball into the middle third. Clemens just past Park. And lurking for an opportunity was Morales Martinez, and finally the ball sent back to O'Connor. Now the Tartans try to set up something here with Peak. But again, there's just one pass, and that's it, as Cannon that time got the ball away from Race. Now Clemens splits two defenders, trying to backheel it back, and too many Tartans surrounding the ball that time. But Cannon with a great service back in to Heidi Fessler has checked in. She has great speed. Park couldn't get it to Viskovich. Park does swoop in, but there's a foul called instead on Fessler. So a free kick for Carnegie Mellon. As we have reached the latter stages of the first half, WashU leads 1-0. A little more than 13 minutes left. Jay Murray here with you on Flow Sports. Again, mighty glad to have you alongside. I always enjoy having you in my company as we watch together to see if WashU can extend its unbeaten streak here at home, and also an overall unbeaten streak of 38 consecutive games. The home unbeaten streak is now at 21 games. Fessler with a great pivot. Ball at her feet, step ahead of her defender. Crosses, and that is behind the net. Clemens was racing toward the goal in the middle of the field. Colpitz racing down the left side in case there was a long cross. But neither happened. It'll be a goal kick, and O'Connor's going to defer to one of her teammates. And that's a tell there that perhaps O'Connor does not trust her leg to get that ball up to the middle third. Even with the wind at the back, O'Connor allows a teammate to take the goal kick. So I'm sure that'll be filed in the minds of WashU players as we move forward. Park tried to get to that one, couldn't, but stays after it, and by doing so, it forces the Tartans to retreat a bit. That allows WashU to start swarming around the ball. Clemens, and O'Connor finally decides to dive and smother the opportunity. Very good job defensively there on Clemens. Clemens didn't get a free ride to the Maggie Doherty. Did a great job there of keeping Clemens from having a free chance to get into O'Connor and get in her kitchen. Doherty did a great job forcing Clemens, eventually giving up the ball, and O'Connor then had a chance to come out and smother it. Cannon, and still now the Tartans trying to set up shop here. That's Viskovich deflected it. May have knocked the wind out of her partially or hit her in the hip. Might be a little bit of a stinger there. So while Viskovich tries to work that out, Morales Martinez with a charge, sending the ball upfield, and O'Connor has to play with her feet and does. She knows Fessler has great speed. If Fessler gets to that, there might be some trouble. So Abby O'Connor able to come off her line and slow the freight trade down for WashU, at least for the moment. Cami Colpitt's out. Jaden Ailing is in now. Jaden's logging more and more minutes off the bench as a reserve as the season has gone on. Morales Martinez collaborates with Park to get the ball free for a moment. Race trying to keep it away from Park, who has fresh legs and an intent on pouncing on every 50-50 chance to try to get something going the Bears' way. We have 9:41 remaining. O'Connor had to be careful there. She knew Clemens was roaming in the area for a chance. Park. Her pass deflected. Soroka will play it back to Cannon. Reagan comfortable in the center back position. Nice service to Clemens, who's trying to do something with it. Finds Park on the far side. Park the cross, and just past Fessler, and O'Connor dives and lunges to cover that situation up. Just beyond the reach of Fessler, who is charging down the middle of the field to try to finish that off with a goal. Cannon will bring it back to Soroka. Morales Martinez on the far side helping out on the back line. Close to a handball by Viskovich. The ball rolls out near side for a Carnegie Mellon throw-in. We have another reserve coming in for the Tartans. Jan Struble, knowing full well that it's hard to crack the code of the WashU defense to get a goal. Coyne exits. And in Coyne's place, Thea Spellmeyer is checked in. Spellmeyer on the throw. Race trying to find Peak. Knocked out of bounds. Another throw in for the Tartans deeper in WashU territory. So the Bears have reserves on the field. Trying to make sure that there's enough rest for the starters to make a big push in the second half if it's needed. Good step in there by Cannon. Set it upfield, and that's off of the torso of Spellmeyer, and so it'll be a WashU throw-in. .7:22 remaining, so we're in the 38th minute. WashU leads 1-0 on a goal in the 4th minute by Sophie Viskovich, her 4th of the season. Ella Clino with the assist, her 8th to lead the team in that department. And that might stay in play. It does. It was tight roping the touch line and then curled back into play. I think overrule that was an out-of-bounds situation, so McGuire, actually a foul, so McGuire will have a free kick now. Caitlin will. Oh, let's see if there's a shot coming for the Tartans. None yet. Peak, crossing, and a great save, a diving save made by Lanthier. A great delivery that was made there to Caroline Klander. Caroline Clauder checked that. Caroline Clauder was able to, she's a reserve, and she was right there to collect the service and try to tap it home, but Lanthier made a diving save of that. So now Clemens. And she can't keep the ball at her feet there as O'Connor thumps it forward. So in the 38th minute, great chance for Clauder. Tried to tap it home after a great pass. I think it was by Peak, and then Lanthier had to make a save. So that's the game of soccer. That's, you can dominate play, possession time, number of shots, but it just takes one instance to equalize a game. Clauder very nearly did so for the Tartans, but Cassidy Lanthier, showing her Division I pedigree goalkeeping prowess, able to make a nice diving save to keep WashU ahead. Soroka moves it past Fessler there. Then now it's going to be Carnegie Mellon trying to load up an opportunity. Peak. And this is going to roll past Cannon out of bounds. Wang was trying to get something started there, heading upfield, but it will be a goal kick for WashU. Will Lanthier handle this herself? Cannon's going to take this one. Played short, and then Lanthier will step into that. Peak knocks it down, keeps it in WashU territory, then it's cleared to the middle third. Trying to make a move, Locatelli with the ball. Viskovich comes back to help and then sweeps it over to Morales-Martinez. Monica runs into a couple of Tartans. Ball pops free. Maybe a foul called against one of the Tartans. So we're under 4 minutes left in the first half. WashU ahead 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon on Flow Sports. Jay Murray with you. Very happy to be joined by you as we watch this unfold, the second game of our doubleheader today. The WashU men prevailed 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. That too was an early goal situation in the 12th minute by Daniel Cohen. In the women's game, an even earlier goal, Viskovich in the 4th minute. That's where we are right now. Lauder tried to move upfield. Peak defers. Spellmeyer, and that's out of bounds. The WashU will have a throw in. Reserve waits for her a chance to come in, and that's on the Carnegie Mellon side of things. Delaney Martin wants to come in, it seems. A Tartan player waiting to come in, and meanwhile, Soroka makes sure she uses herself as a shield to keep the ball away from Race, and then Lanthier will take it outside the penalty area. Spellmeyer keeps it in. Cannon heads it away nicely from Race. Peak has a chance here to do something. Plays it back, and now the Tartans trying to measure up. A little tic-tac-toe passing and a chance to score, and that goes awry. A pass that got beyond Wang's reach. Another goal kick for WashU. 2:14 left in the first half. 43rd minute. The WashU Bears on an early goal by Sophie Viskovich leads 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. Lanthier sends it up into the teeth of the 30-mile-per-hour gusting winds. Pretty good effort. They got the ball in the middle third, and then the Bears midfielders trying to move the ball upfield and have a throw-in to work with. Miser will throw it in. Throw is floated to Clemens, who got a very front toe on it. Taken away, though. Here's a chance for Carnegie Mellon. Soroka couldn't stop the progress, and Lanthier, though, able to dive and make sure that didn't result. A shot on goal as Kira Chang just about finished that off with a chance to score and equalize. So the Tartans now in Park, that was close to a handball there, as the Bears have several reserves on the field, and the Tartans was trying to take advantage of that situation, trying to equalize and couldn't. McGuire. And that's on a feed from Locatelli that eventually goes beyond the touchline in WashU territory for a throw-in. So we're getting close to the end of the first half, 36 seconds remaining. WashU will have a throw-in, in no big hurry to do so. Martin thumps it into Carnegie territory. O'Connor plays it with her feet with 19 seconds left. Peak. Cannon sends it back in. Can Clemens get to this? 5 seconds left. 4. Clemens. Long feed. It's short of the mark as time has expired to end the first half as Clemens was trying to find Fessler for a late chance. The pass was short, and we've reached the end of the first half. Your score at the end of one half, it's WashU 1, Carnegie Mellon nothing. We will take a break, and we'll hear from Flow Sports, and then we'll talk about the stats of the first half in just a moment. Jay Murray's back with you here at Francis Olympic Field on the beautiful campus of Washington University here in St. Louis. A gorgeous day, lots of sunshine. The rain that had developed and stayed with us for the balance of most of yesterday, all the way from the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock stage, all the way through until about 5 or 6 this morning. And as a result, yesterday's football game was called after a first half because we kept having lightning delays here and there, and so WashU won that one 17-0 yesterday over Elmhurst to close out a very rainy and stormy afternoon, but great weather today. It is on the cool side a little bit. Temperatures in the 50s. And lots of sunshine, though, and also a very gusty wind blowing at around 15 miles per hour consistently with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. That's the most impressive weather feature of the day. It's had a little bit of an impact, but not a game-deciding impact so far, as the team with the wind at its back has had a chance to go for some long services. The team with the wind in its face, because the wind is blowing from left or right as you look out, blowing out of the west. And so WashU had the win at its face, but still able to manage a goal in the 4th minute. Sophie Viskovich with her 4th goal of the season. Ella Colino with her 8th assist of the season to lead the team in that department. So WashU got a very early lead, and that's where we are right now. Good chance by Grace Ehlert in the 9th minute, but O'Connor came out to cut down the angle, make herself as big as possible, and Ehlert sent a shot wide as a result. And then the best chance for Carnegie Mellon came from one of its reserves. Caroline Clauder had a chance on a tap-in on a great service to her, and she did a good job, got a foot to it, but Lanthier made a great diving save to make sure that this game would remain at halftime 1-0 in favor of WashU. So those were the chances and conversions from both teams in the first half. Before we get to the stats, I want to remind you this is Latina Heritage Day here, and Bears Supporting Bears Day as well. And we want to tip our hat to the Latina Heritage Day because this caps off a month-long National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. Americans observe that National Hispanic Heritage Month, a time to celebrate the heritage, history, traditions, and cultural diversity of Hispanic Americans whose heritage is rooted in Spain and also 19 other countries and territories. They include Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Peru, and then Bolivia, Paraguay, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. All those territories and countries celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. Today, the time frame of a month in which several countries can celebrate their independence from Spain and celebrate their independence in general. So again, we tip our hat to that. This national observation began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under then-President Lyndon Johnson, and then was expanded by then-President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th. It was enacted into law on August 17th, 1988. So in this today, Latina Heritage Day here at Francis Olympic Field, concluding our involvement in honoring of this month-long period of National Hispanic Heritage Month. So we wanted to make sure we noticed that and give credence to it and bring your attention to that. In the meantime, now let's go ahead and take a look at the first half stats. We're going to go to our team stats first of all, give you an idea where the numbers lie. First of all, we're going to have to do a refresh here because there was more than, there's one goal for WashU. And as far as the shots are concerned, WashU had 6 shots in the first half, Carnegie Mellon 2. WashU had a slight edge in shots on goal, 2-1. WashU had 3 corner kicks compared to Carnegie Mellon's 1. 6 fouls for WashU, 4 for Carnegie Mellon. Those are the numbers, modest numbers for both teams. Both teams are very good defensively. And WashU has a lone goal in the 4th minute. That's the difference in the match so far. So individually, for Carnegie Mellon, just 2 shots total, 1 for Locatelli and 1 for Clowder. Clowder was his own goal and had to be saved by Lanthier. And goalkeeper for Carnegie Mellon, Abby O'Connor, has allowed 1 goal and has made 1 save and has faced 6 shots. On the WashU side, 6 shots, 2 for Cami Colpitz, 1 for Ella Colino, 1 for Maddie Foley, 1 for Kira Smizer, 1 for Sophie Viskovich. And those are the shots. 2 shots on goal, 1 by Colpitz that was saved, 1 by Viskovich that was not. Viskovich scoring her 4th goal of the season, the assist to Colino her 8th. And in goal, Cassidy Lanthier has not allowed a goal yet. She made 1 save, and again, that was late in the first half. Clowder had a great chance to tap in a tremendous service on a set piece, but Lanthier made a diving save to thwart that. So WashU leading Carnegie Mellon 1-0 here at halftime. So those are the numbers as far as the team stats and individual stats. We'll take another break right now, and then we'll set up the second half for you. And we're in the second game of our doubleheader today on Flow Sports. WashU's men won the first game 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. The WashU ladies likewise have a 1-0 lead over Carnegie Mellon as we get ready for the second half. But first, we hear from Flow Sports. Jay Murray's back with you, and this will be a broadcast for me that will be the last one until I have my Rhett Gets Rocked Ultra Marathon that I'll be doing a solo Ultra Marathon to raise awareness for Rett syndrome and research funds to defeat Rett syndrome. Looking for a cure. It's very close. We have 2 clinical trials underway. One of those here in St. Louis at the Rett Spectrum Clinic in the WashU School of Medicine in St. Louis Children's Hospital. And those clinical trials have given back a little bit of what Rett syndrome took away when kids were very young. Rett syndrome has an onset between 6 to 18 months of age, and when the onset begins, Rett takes away the ability of kids to walk and talk, move purposefully, and it causes a lot of situations like a lot of seizures, a lot of eating and drinking problems that forces kids to have G-tube feedings at times. It's just a very sinister disorder, and so been some great research going on that. So I do an ultra marathon each year to try to raise money and awareness of that. So I'll be doing that this coming Friday in my neighborhood in St. Charles, Missouri. It'll be a 36-hour attempt to try to get to 100 miles. We'll see if we can get there, but if you'd like to make a donation to the cause and to try to be a part of the quest for a cure, I'll give you the URL of that. It's give.rettsyndrome.org, Rett spelled R-E-T-T. So you have give.rettsyndrome.org/RGR 2025. You can also go to my Facebook page for more information on that and to make a contribution via direct links. So we would love to have your support. Any support, any donation of any kind, any size is greatly appreciated, not only by me, but also the families battling Rett syndrome. And we're very close to a cure. We already have a drug called trofinetide that's been approved by the FDA 2 years ago to help some of the some of the things that Rett syndrome brings. For example, this trofinetide has lessened the amount of seizures that take place. Does restore a little bit of movements and a little bit of vocalization. So great research being done. A lot of that, again, being done here in St. Louis. So we would be very appreciative of any donation or any kind of support that you could give toward the cause. We would appreciate that very, very much. So I've got some final preparations to do. I've got some equipment bags to pack and hydration to pack and all that sort of thing. So I'll be doing that in the week to come while our teams are on the road with regards to football and men's and women's soccer. We're getting close to starting the second half. Good crowd here of fans for both schools. A little chilly, but I think at least the fans that have come to watch earlier matches, as far as WashU matches, are very thankful for the 50-degree temperatures because we've had several games in which the heat index has been in the 90s. That's not comfortable for anybody, players or spectators. So today it's a much different result. If you have a nice hoodie or maybe I wouldn't say a winter coat's needed today, but a lot of fans got their hoodies and other jackets with hoods. And so if you have the proper attire, this is a very enjoyable afternoon despite the gusty winds that we've had. Certainly we'll enjoy the sunshine. And we have fall-like temperatures finally here in St. Louis. We've been waiting for a sustained period of that for a while. And hopefully we have that now with this strong cold front that finally was able to have enough strength to not only move the warm temperatures out, but gave us, in some instances, I think 3 inches of rain in some areas. It's been a very good day with regards to weather, a very good day if you're a WashU soccer fan. If you're a Carnegie Mellon fan, you're saying, man, it's tough to do business against WashU and get anything going, as the men of Carnegie Mellon lost to WashU 1-0. And the Bears trying to follow suit on the women's side, leading 1-0 here as we get ready to start the second half. So let's talk about, we've heard a little bit from Flo Sports. But one of the things that stand out is that through Flo Sports, the UA schools are trying to raise the quality of broadcasts, trying to get some more features in the broadcast, perhaps another camera or two for the broadcast. So we're trying to, through Flo Sports, lift the boats of everybody in the harbor, basically, with added features that will add to the enjoyment of your experience as you watch WashU sporting events here on Flo Sports. And again, 100% of the revenue that we get from Flo Sports goes back to the UA member institutions, and that enables UA schools to implement some production standards that will be enhanced, that will enhance the quality of the broadcast, and also continued equity in production quality between corresponding men's and women's sports. So trying to get more sports broadcast. If a school is unable to focus on more than just football or basketball, for example, then Flo Sports is trying to help get some more resources to where more sports are covered at a particular school. So that's why the UA is contracted with Flo Sports to try to, again, raise the level of everyone's enjoyment. Yes, there is a subscription cost involved, but that gives you access to not only WashU games, but you can also get an access to 40,000 events across 25 different sports by subscribing to Flo Sports. Monthly subscription costs $19.99 a month, an annual subscription a little over $107 per year, which breaks down to $8.99 a month. Students with a UA member institution EDU email address, for example, WashU has WashU an EDU email address. So if you have that, you can sign up for a discounted subscription of $9.99 a month, or an annual subscription of $71 plus per year. So yes, the cost of subscribing is a little different than what we're used to, but the hope is with the revenue that we get from Flo Sports through your subscription purchases, we're looking to elevate the quality of broadcast, to elevate your enjoyment of our broadcast here, not only here at WashU, but also throughout the other schools in the UAA. That's why the deal was made to enter a contract with Flo Sports, and we'll see if all those things come to pass. And that's the intent of it. We're glad you can join us here on Flo Sports on a very breezy, blustery day. But with the bluster, there's sunshine to go with it. So thankfully, there's no rain or snow. It's just a lot of sunshine, a lot of gusty wind on the backside of a cold front. We have fall-like temperatures now. And folks that live here in the St. Louis area, hoping that those temperatures will around before we get in the winter. Second half underway now as Bears a 1-0 lead and add to it on the other side. They try to come out strong here at the second half to for momentum on their side. Tartan's trying to get an equalizing goal early to try to build the drama or to finish that momentum and then maybe surge past WashU and get an equalizing goal. In the second half, here Chang, who just ball nudged out of bounds beyond her. So she'll try to throw it in. She joins on to start the second half. Heavily race starting the second half, I believe. Yep, she tried to get up to past her defender there to Kate Martin. Denied that. Vivian Wang is on the field as well. Track down the players that will start the second half. Locatelli is on the field as well. Carnegie Mellon. Olivia O'Connor back in goal as the Bears inch toward a chance to score. Martin to Morales-Martinez. Monica trying to connect with Colpitts, but the pass behind Cami. Kira Smizer now. Ball bounced off of a target clear out of bounds for a throw-in for the Bears. Vivian Wang on the field as well as we look at the players on the field. Caitlin McGuire's back on the back line. Ball eventually rolling out of bounds for a WashU throw-in. Maggie Doherty returns. She saw time late in the first half. She's on the field for Carnegie Mellon in the second half. Clemens pivots, crossing beyond Ehlert's reach. Spellmeyer's in the match as well on the far side. Lets this one go out of bounds beyond the end line for a goal kick. Trying to track down everybody that's starting the second half for both teams. Connor barely gets that one past Ehlert. Grace trying to race to steal that one away. Clemens couldn't get to that as the ball is chipped back in. What WashU loves to do, trying to circle the wagon, so to speak, keep you from getting out of your own zone and eventually being forced to be compressed almost against your goal frame. Corner kick for WashU early in the half here. Sophie Viskovich, who has the lone goal of the match. She scored in the 4th minute. She will have the corner kick here to try to give WashU a 2-0 advantage. Players for both teams across the goal line trying to get position. Viskovich playing it out front to Martinez, and a save on a skipping shot. O'Connor had to range to her right to collect that. And O'Connor had to look through some traffic. Her vision was impeded a little bit, kind of partially screened. Morales-Martinez didn't get all she wanted on that ball either. She kind of scuffed that a little bit. Tough to do where there's players around you to try to step in and really get a firm boot on it, but it almost found its way home nonetheless because, again, O'Connor's vision was screened a bit, and she finally saw the ball coming to her at the last moment, reached to her right and made the save. So for WashU, Morales-Martinez out there along with Viskovich, Colpitts, Smizer, Martin, Cannon, Carl. Monica Park starts the second half on the field. Ehlertz along with Clemens. And in goal, Cassidy Lanthier, I believe, is back in the nets. We'll double check. Yep, that's her in her red goalkeeping kit. And meanwhile, Morales-Martinez tried to connect with Park, couldn't. Lauder's back on the field as well, and he had the best chance as a reserve to score in the first half. Great save by Cassidy Lanthier, diving to make that save. That was in the 38th minute, just before halftime. A great save by Lanthier keeps WashU ahead at that point, and that's where we are right now. The goal in the 4th minute by Sophie Viskovich, the difference so far in the match. An assist to Ella Colino on that goal. Cannon swoops in to keep the ball positioned in Carnegie Mellon territory. Clemens lets Colpitts get Viskovich involved. Back to Clemens. Ball goes over McGuire's head, but right there is O'Connor to collect the ball on the bounce. So in the 51st minute now, early in the second half. Now, Carnegie Mellon has that gusty wind in its face. Now it's more out of the northwest now, so a little bit more of a crosswind, but still a lot of that as Clemens advances inside the penalty area. The shot, and it's in the back of the net, and WashU has a 2-0 advantage. Olivia Clemens is so very tough with the ball at her feet. She somehow has the ball I don't know if she has glue on her top of her boot, but somehow that ball stays with her as she carries it into the penalty area. Gets a shot away that O'Connor can't reach, and WashU has a 2-0 lead. .52 minute. Clemens with her first goal of the match. And Clemens now has tied Grace Ehlert for the team lead in goals this season with 10. More importantly, out of all that, WashU now has a 2-0 lead. Goals by Sophie Viskovich and Olivia Clemens. Now the Tartans may have to start throwing caution to the wind here to try to get a goal back, get back in the match. Cannon tried to head it forward to a player on her team, couldn't do so, and Reagan stays after it though, and eventually Sophie Viskovich spins the ball over to Colpitts. Back to Sophie, and WashU moves the ball to the middle third. Park, Clemens. Olivia again keeping the ball right at her feet, advancing quickly. Pass behind Ehlert, but now Colpitts trying to pick it up, and a good sliding redirect there to send the ball out of bounds. Great job there by Spellmeyer to keep Colpitts from having a bite of the apple. Check and see if there's an assist on that Clemens goal. Meanwhile, Chang was trying to move upfield and got a pass to the far side. Peak to race. As Carnegie Mellon now says, well, we got to get a goal somehow. We're down 2-0. We've got to get in this match. Dong with a nice bit of nimble movement, but Park stays with her. So no assist, it's just Clemens' individual effort that results in Olivia scoring the second goal of the match for WashU. The Bears lead 2-0. Clemens now with her 10th goal of the season that ties Grace Ehlert for the team leadership in that department. Viskovich to Clemens. That time Olivia was sandwiched a bit by a couple of Tartan players. Locatelli, one of those. So that stopped Olivia, but not much else can stop her unless you really physically get her sandwiched like that. Miser. This one deflects out of bounds for a corner kick for the Bears. So Park will exit along with Morales-Martinez entering the match. Maddie Foley returns, as does Allie Goulding. Corner kick coming for the Bears, and Viskovich will launch that. You hear the wind still whistling, even though we're deep in the afternoon. The wind is still gusting quite a bit. Kind of a humpbacked corner kick that bounces and eventually cleared. Sophie trying to give a different look there, and meanwhile, Colpitts doing yeoman work, keeping the ball with an opportunity for the Bears to pick up another goal. Viskovich from distance, and the short hop goes right into the waiting arms of Abby O'Connor. WashU Bears have a 2-0 advantage now. A goal in each half now, as Sophie Viskovich had a goal in the 4th minute, and now Olivia Clemens in the 52nd. The Bears have a 2-0 advantage over number 19 Carnegie Mellon. WashU entered the day with a number 2 national ranking. And with the win, trying to solidify the lead atop the UAA table. Carl will throw it in. She didn't wait to see if there was supposed to be a throw in for her. She just grabbed the ball and threw it in, and it was evidently the right decision. Again, under Jim Conlon, and the men's team under Andrew Bordelon as well, but especially Coach Conlon wants his players to play quick. Don't wait for an invitation for the official to get the ball back into play. Because on throw-ins, it's very difficult to get anything going on throw-ins unless you're able to throw that in quickly, without the defenders being able to get to it. Goulding throws the ball in. Wang trying to get something going, any kind of positive situation here. There's one here developing, but Carl able to outrace her opponent Chang and steer the ball out of bounds. A couple of reserves come in off the bench for Carnegie Mellon. Coyne comes back in on the back line. She'll throw it in for the Tartans. Bianco trying to maneuver, and did that ball come across the back line? It did. Great defense there by Goulding. And I think Martin helped out as well, to where Bianco had no room to go, and then the ball rolled off her boot out of bounds. Goal kick for Cassidy Lanthier, who now has the wind more at her back now. As the wind now shifting to the west. It was northwest for a little bit to start the second half. Now it's more out of a westerly direction, so Lanthier does have the wind fully at her back right now. At times up to 35 miles an hour. So clearances upfield should be easier. Goal kicks easier to keep WashU in a position to keep Carnegie Mellon at bay in Tartan territory. Locatelli tried to emerge with the ball there. Boy got a foot on it. Coyne likewise for Carnegie Mellon, but Foley ends up with it. Pressured from behind by Chang. Ehlert. A little bit hot, but Viskovich controls. And WashU will try the far side with Smizer, and then back to Cannon. Carl. Bianco racing, hoping for a misplay, but so far the Bears are sure-footed with their handling of the ball on the back line. Smizer breaks free from Hendricks. The cross, knocked down by McGuire, then she volleys it up out of the zone, out of the penalty area anyway. Bianco tried to follow up and move forward, but can't. So Morales-Martinez rolls over to the far side. Cannon. So wind still playing a role in this one. You can hear it in the headset microphone. In fact, we're going to pull the microphone inside a little bit just to get the idea anyway that there's a pretty stiff breeze blowing throughout the entire day, but we'll pull that back a little bit for you so you don't have to hear the wind whistling in your ear throughout the whole rest of the second half. We're 15 minutes into the second half. We're in the 60th minute. WashU has a 2-0 lead. Olivia Clemens scored a goal in the second half early in the 52nd minute. That was preceded in the first half in the 4th minute by Sophie Viskovich's goal, her 4th of the year. Clemens now has 10 goals in the season, equaling her teammate Grace Ehlert. So WashU reserve will run onto the field. Casey Carl gets a breather. So the substitution has been made, and Lanthier, as Eddie Soroka returns. Lanthier now will have the wind at her back, so very able to get the ball close to the center line here in the second half with the wind at her back. Clemens collects, moves, veers, and that's the extent of it. Good job defensively that time by a couple of players, but Foley stays with it. And this chip with a little bit of curl to it, almost found Clemens. But instead, O'Connor able to collect that, get it in her arms to keep it away from WashU. The Bears lead 2-0. And we have the virtual standings as play continues here across the UAA today. For the moment, Emory and Chicago have a 1-point lead over WashU. Throw-in contested. WashU will have another player come in, Ella Kaleno, who had the assist on the Viskovich goal. Kaleno gives Olivia Clemens a breather. Let's go over the scores first before we go to the standings, because there have been games that have been played in final. That, for the moment, alters the standings. That WashU trying to go to 3-0 and maintain a lead in the conference standings. So in today's action, Rochester at home defeats Brandeis 1-0. Emory at home has its way with NYU. Emory wins 4-0 at home. A tie between Chicago and Case Western Reserve. Chicago and Case tied 2-2. That's a final. And our game still in progress here, featuring Carnegie Mellon and WashU. So with the result of those matches, results now and a chance for WashU to claim first place all by itself. WashU and Chicago were tied at 2-0 entering the day today, with Chicago settling for a tie with Case Western Reserve. Yes, for the moment, those two teams are ahead of WashU as a result of that tie. But if the Bears go on to win today, the Bears would be at 3-0 in conference play and be ahead of everyone in the conference standings. O'Connor collects there for Carnegie Mellon. The Bears lead 2-0. We're getting closer to the midway point of the second half, a little more than 26 minutes remaining. So as the scores that we reported, let's go back to the standings and see how they relate. Emory at 2-0-1 conference mark, Chicago at 2-0-1, and WashU at 2-0. So a win today would push WashU to 3-0. And as a result, that would be a 2-point lead if WashU can win to go to 3-0, a 2-point lead over Emory and Chicago. Rochester now 1-1-1 in conference play. East Western Reserve also at 1-1-1. NYU at 0-2-1 now in conference play. Carnegie Mellon playing here against WashU, in danger of falling very far behind. Brandeis 0-3 in conference at the bottom of the table. So the dilemma was for both the Carnegie Mellon men and women were to try to get a win over WashU here in WashU's friendly confines of Francis Olympic Field in order to stay close to the conference lead. Carnegie Mellon men lost to WashU 1-0, so now Carnegie Mellon 7 points behind WashU, as the Bears men are now 3-0 in the conference as well. Women are trying to equal that, leading 2-0 here against Carnegie Mellon. And for the Carnegie Mellon women likewise, if they suffer a loss today, and even a tie doesn't do them a whole lot of good, they need a victory. If Carnegie Mellon does not get a win, and WashU does, then WashU's 8 points ahead of Carnegie, and the Tartans' hopes of competing for a conference championship are reduced substantially. With 4 matches left, close out the regular season. O'Connor comes well off her line. She had to because Ella Kalena was a step in preparation of getting that ball and heading toward the goal uncontested. So O'Connor wisely came out to take that ball away from Kalena before Ella could get firm command of it. So for the moment, the Bears are in third place, but that's only because the Bears haven't finished their match yet here against Carnegie Mellon. If the Bears go on to win, the Bears now will have first place all to themselves for the 3-0 conference mark. But again, there's still a lot of time left in this one for Carnegie Mellon to have a say about it, as we're in the 67th minute. The WashU Bears have a 2-0 lead, and the Bears have not shown any weakening of the defense that it's thrown against Carnegie today. Leno on the throw, double team, finds Viskovich, and a shot saved by O'Connor. Sophie was making a bid to have her second goal of the match, but O'Connor was there, saw it all the way, was not screened. So she was able to see that clearly and catch it without any other issues. O'Connor then puts the boot to that. Nice line drive to the center line. But again, Reagan Cannon, WashU defenders are very adept at reading where the ball is going. They can jump in, intercept with headers to keep the ball pinned in. Kate Martin. And she is able to shield her opponent away, and the opponent forced a foul from behind. Nicole Lazaroskis called on the foul, and she was saying that Martin was trying to use free arms to hold me and then gain leverage away, try to move the ball past me, but her argument falls on deaf ears, I suppose. Park, Viskovich, WashU threatens again here, and McGuire was able to redirect that pass just enough to where O'Connor could dive to grab the ball before it went across the back line for a corner kick. Martin trying to get the ball away from Wang. Park deflects. This one, Carnegie Mellon throwing in WashU territory. Still time left for a Tartan comeback. We have 21 minutes and change left in the second half. Bears, though, have a 2-goal advantage at 2-0. And the Tartans need to get a goal here fairly soon to put pressure on WashU and try to get back in this match. Soroka, good job of being a backstop there, and then got the ball moved forward a little bit, about 10 or 15 yards. Keep the Tartans from having a good chance to score. O'Connor will stop that with her feet and then pick it up. Fessler with good speed trying to chase after the ball. Kaleno able to get in there and get a foot on the ball, but can't take the ball away. That was very close to a WashU steal and an opportunity to score. WashU moves this at 3-0. That would just about be it for the afternoon. Kaleno, Fessler, and a shot deflects off of McGuire. It'll be a corner kick for the Bears. And Fessler with great speed. The Clemens and Ehlert and Kaleno and Colpitz, and the beat goes on from there. It's hard for opponents to match stride for stride with those speedsters throughout the course of an entire match. So at the end of each halves, for example, it's WashU has a distinct advantage unless you have some fresh legs as reserves to come off the bench. Corner away. Slapped out by O'Connor to the near side. Good job by Abby to sky high to swat that ball to at least force a throw in. And meanwhile, Reagan Cannon exits. Casey Carl back on the scene. Morales Martinez on a throw to Kaleno trying to post up. Meanwhile, Foley just missing top shelf. It goes over the crossbar. A little bit more top spin on that would have found the back of the net. Foley gave it a great ride, but just skimming over the crossbar. That was from Coleno as well. Despite two defenders able to get the ball to Foley for a chance there. They're still pressuring. Morales Martinez to Coleno. Double team awaits her. Morales Martinez sliding to try to keep the ball in possession, but Wang able to extract. Bianco ahead, but not to a connection to a teammate. Lazarakis was hoping to get a connection and move upfield, but was not able to materialize. It'll be a throw-in for the Tartans. And time marches on here in the second half. We're now at 18:37 left. Back heel by Lazarakis, no one there to pick it up. Good thought. But maybe some tired legs and unable to get to those types of situations here as we get later in the half. Coleno spins the ball for Fessler with a chance, and Fessler deposits the ball in the back of the net. Beautifully spun to Fessler, beautifully finished by Fessler. Heidi gets a goal, and WashU now has a 3-0 lead, and that might be enough for the Bears here today. 18:16 left in the 72nd minute. Heidi Fessler. Her 5th goal of the season. There will be an assist on that because Fessler had a great ball spun to her. It looked like a shot in billiards on a pool table with a lot of English on it. That pass curled around a defender perfectly onto Fessler's feet, and Fessler took care of the rest. And this one ricochets back. O'Connor mindful and decides, I better pick this up because Coleno's charging toward me. And so Coleno gets us an assist, her 2nd of the day, her 9th of the season. So Coleno put the proper English on a pass to Fessler, and Heidi took care of the rest. Coleno, her 9th assist, 2nd of the day. WashU now has a 3-0 margin over Carnegie Mellon. WashU number 2 in the country, defending national champion and UAA champion. Carnegie Mellon ranked 19th. Had high hopes, and the Tartans are kind of in desperate straits here if they want to contend for this UAA championship. Fessler, can she let up another shot here? Trying to. Finally poked away from her by the defense. And then lost by the Tartans here would be very damaging to their hopes of competing for the UA championship. I wouldn't say they're going to be totally extinguished, but that would, if WashU goes on to win, the Bears would be with 9 points. I think Carnegie Mellon just has 1 off a tie, so 8 points off and away from WashU. So Carnegie needed a win here to try to get back into the conference mix, into the conference championship mix. But Bears very tough here at home with a 21-game unbeaten streak here and an overall unbeaten streak at 38 games right now. Last loss for the Bears was against Cal Lutheran in the 2023 Division III National Championship match. WashU's lone blemish is a tie against Trine earlier in September. But after that tie, WashU's won 7 straight. And dominating in the process 31-2 in those 7 games on their opponents. The Bears here have a 3-0 lead over Carnegie Mellon here this afternoon. We've reached the 80th minute. Like we have a reserve coming on. Skylar Hendricks exits the match. So goal kick for Carnegie Mellon. Morales Martinez keeps it within Carnegie Mellon territory. Now Ehlert races ahead. Grace trying to get a shot away. Left-footed shot blocked. Ball still roaming free, and then finally cleared, at least for the moment, to give the Tartan defense a quick breather. But again, the Bears just pounce on the ball, and they continue pressuring you. Park got a foot to it to prevent the further advance. And Coyne trying to find a player upfield, couldn't. Quick throw in for the Bears. Fessler from Coleno. And that one's bounced off of Coyne for a corner kick. Heidi Fessler, first-year player, 5th goal of the season. Coleno now 2 assists today. She now has 9. Sophie Viskovich with a goal, her 4th of the year. Olivia Clemens with her 10th goal today. Those are the scoring and the assist totals today. Soroka on a wing as that corner played short. Now back to Smizer. Kira tried to thread that through to O'Connor. It was deflected. Coleno headed it down. Couldn't find the goal frame with that. Morales Martinez. Park fights off a defender who bumped her from behind. Then Park delivers. A little bit of a blow there, and Park may be injured as a result. Margarita Mamoli was entangled there with Park. Like Annika's all right, so we're back to action. WashU with 2 second-half goals, one by Clemens in the 52nd minute. Hold that thought because Coleno was heading toward goal, but Mamoli at the last minute able to take the ball away off the boot of Coleno. Foley trying to control, can't. Ball bouncing near side and hustling Soroka, keeping Bianco from having a chance to score. Down by Soroka there. Bianco, leading scorer for Carnegie Mellon with 7 goals this year, followed by Ulitzi with 5 and Zong with 4. No additions to those totals here this afternoon, at least at the time being. Fessler tripped a bit, no foul. One chipped beyond everyone's reach as it goes beyond the end line for a goal kick for Carnegie Mellon. The time marching, 12:35 left. WashU has a 3-0 lead, so demoralizing situation for the Tartans. Down 3 goals against a very tough defensive unit for WashU. WashU scores a lot of goals and prevents a lot of goals. There's only been 3 goals scored by WashU opponents this year. WashU has scored 53 goals, opponents just 3. In this case, late in matches, good offense is a very good defense as far as possession, keeping the ball away from opponents, and then you're able to add a couple of tallies in the second half as well. Tough day at the office for WashU opponents, especially here at Francis Olympic Field. The WashU men able to win 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. WashU number 4 in the country on the men's side. Carnegie Mellon had received votes in the last United Soccer Coaches poll. The Bears had an early goal from Daniel Cohen, his 5th of the year. That was in the 12th minute of that game, and the Bears rode that goal to a 1-0 result in its favor. Bianco tried to at least get a goal for their efforts here. Trying to maneuver past Soroka, and Soroka stood her ground. And as a result, a throw-in as WashU sends reserves on the field en masse. 5 will be on the field. Clemens returns for WashU. Got to track everybody that's rejoined the match. Jaden Ailing returns, for example, and this one ricochets off of Bianco. And it'll be a WashU throw in. Clemens is back on the field, so she joins Alerts. Viskovich. Clemens spinning the ball past one defender, collects again. In the penalty area now, Clemens, and well played by Coyne there. Coyne could have bumped Clemens and knocked Clemens down inadvertently. That could have resulted in a penalty kick, but Coyne was able to get a step ahead of Clemens. She read the path of Clemens correctly, got in front of Clemens, and eventually diffused the situation. Well done by Coyne there, as Clemens, dangerous in that situation, able to pass the ball to herself, in essence, to move the ball ahead, then race to it, recollect possession, and then deposit the ball in the back of the net. Coyne prevented that from happening, so good defense applied there by Molly. Haley Peak. And maybe one or two dribbles, and that's it before WashU defender converges. Miser headed upfield, and the ball got away from her. A throw in for Carnegie Mellon. WashU leads Carnegie Mellon 3-0 with 9:30 left in the second half. Locatelli trying to avoid danger. Viskovich steps in to try to get it away from Coyne. Coyne desperately trying to move the ball at least out of bounds. Does so. WashU has a throw in. WashU has the edge in shots 13-3 now over Carnegie Mellon. Morales Martinez. Pass to Clemens. Monica now sending a shot directly to O'Connor, who makes the catch. Rolls it ahead. But in the WashU defense, forcing an errant pass that goes out of bounds. As a result, it'll be a Bear throw-in. Mitchell throw in for the Tartans. Grace Ayler was trying to get the ball on her boot and head upfield. Kira Chang had a brief touch, as now the Tartans try to redirect and try to near side, but Coyne finds Viskovich waiting for her. Locatelli. Good idea to try to flip the field and get WashU one step behind, but the Bears' team speed just negates that. Try to get WashU a step behind some passes, but WashU has very good acceleration to the ball, and then it's difficult even with quick passing back and forth, side to side, to get the Bears out of position. McGuire will roll it over here to Locatelli. Wind may be dying down just a little bit as we're into the latter portion of the afternoon. We have 7:20 left. WashU leads 3-0 over Carnegie Mellon. Goals by Sophie Viskovich, Olivia Clemens, and Heidi Fessler. 2 assists on the day for Ella Kaleno as well. Cassidy Lamthier has not had to face many shots, but when she had to face a shot, and one especially, it was a pivotal save, as it turns out, in the 38th minute. Caroline Clauder had a chance on a great service, the ball at her foot, and Clauder did her best. She had a very good tap in, but Lanthier saw it developing just in time, made a diving save on the Clauder attempt. The 38th minute, that kept WashU ahead at halftime, 1-0, and then the Bears have scored twice here to open things up in the second. The Lanthier save does not go unnoticed by yours truly. If she doesn't make the save there, the game's equalize, and who knows from there what happens with momentum. Does Carnegie Mellon seize momentum and maybe get a chance to steal a victory and end WashU's 21-game unbeaten streak here at home and WashU's 38-game overall unbeaten streak? And soccer is a the sport in which you can dominate but still lose a match. So if Lanthier doesn't make that save, we're tied 1-1 at a halftime, and who knows from there what happens. Tip of the hat to Cassidy Lanthier for making that diving save. WashU's going on to lead now 3-0. Chang tried to move it forward to Bianco, but again, the Bears' defense have kept Bianco from having any kind of opportunity to score today. Vivian Wang. Not a coin. But again, on a pass like that, there's always a Bear waiting, it seems. Martin out of Clements. Livia with a chance, a shot blocked. It goes beyond the touchline for a throw-in. Ball beyond the end line for a throw-in, or actually for a goal kick, rather, as O'Connor will have the goal kick. WashU has a 3-0 advantage. Jay Murray here with you in the waning moments of the second half. We have 4.5 minutes left. WashU leading 3-0 as the afternoon shadows lengthening here at Francis Olympic Field. Some of the trees beyond the stadium are shadows of which are now starting to encroach upon the Bushy Head track. It has felt like fall today, thankfully. Been a gusty wind day, but to the credit of all the teams involved, the men and women of WashU and Carnegie Mellon, the wind hasn't had a direct impact on the outcome of the games. And the residents here in the St. Louis area, even though the winds are gusty, they are loving the temperatures today. They've been waiting for fall weather to arrive for, it seems like, the last month or so. Finally, folks can get the apple cider, wear a nice hoodie and nice comfortable blue jeans and get out on the deck perhaps and just enjoy the weather and get a chance to recharge the batteries before the start of the work week. .311 left. WashU on the verge of making this a 3-0 final unless the Tardans have a big comeback. That pass curls to Locatelli, and that was almost within reach of Clemens, who would have had a breakaway. Peak with a nice advance. The Tartans get a goal here in this sequence. Long feed, and Lanthier waits patiently and got to it. Ball arrived to her just a second before the Tartan player could get on the end of that. Wang over to Chang, and quick throw in. Cannon's waiting for that. It's Miser, then partial clearance, and then Ailing helps out. Carnegie Mellon still pressuring here as they try to get a goal, the Tartans do, before the end of the match. 2 minutes left. WashU leads 3-0. Viskovich trying to find Clemens long. O'Connor seeing that setup develop. Off her line out to the penalty area, so she handles it with her feet nicely, and so Clemens does not have a chance to put icing on the cake. Lanthier will call off everyone to collect that. Bianco can't get to it. Minute and a half remaining now. WashU women trying to advance the record. 13-0-1 this season and a perfect 3-0 in conference play. They're on the verge of doing that. Coral directs the ball out of bounds away from Bianco. 1:07 left. Coyne trying to get a quick throw in. Torrens would like to at least sully the clean sheet that Lantier wants to take with her. And the sliding tackle there negates a Carnegie Mellon advance toward goal, but it will be a quick corner kick, one last corner kick here as McGuire runs up to it to put the ball down. 41 seconds left in the match. Carnegie Mellon get a tally here to sully the clean sheet. Corner up, headed away by, looked like Viskovich, and then sent away by Soroka, and that should be about it as O'Connor at the center line, and almost deflected onto Clemens. 19 seconds left. O'Connor still trying to help out, get at least a goal to take with them back to Pittsburgh. That won't be the case, though. There's 10 seconds left. 9. Ayling gets a boot on it. Clemens will dribble this one out as WashU will win this one by a score of 3-0 this afternoon at Francis Olympic Field. In doing so, WashU extends its overall unbeaten streak to 39 games now, and the unbeaten streak here at Francis Olympic Field to 22 games. WashU prevails 3-0, and that will place the Bears atop of the UA table by themselves. So WashU awaiting the outcome of this, and the Bears are now 3-0, so the Bears now with 9 points in conference play, ahead of Chicago and Emory now with 7. So WashU has a 2-point lead in the women's soccer standings in the UAA as a result of the win today to move to 3-0 in conference play, 13-0-1 altogether. Carnegie Mellon drops to 9-3-2. Carnegie Mellon 0-2-1 in conference play. So as teams congratulate one another, let's take another break here. We'll hear from Flow Sports, and then we'll have our post-match report coming up here after we hear this from Flow Sports. Jay Murray back with you in our post-match report. WashU prevails over Carnegie Mellon by a score of 3-0. We have Sophie Viskovich joining us. And Sophie, first of all, what was the intention? What were the things you wanted to, as a team, try to achieve here other than the win? What kind of things were you focused on as you faced Carnegie Mellon today?
Yeah, I think this week we were just focused on a full team effort, getting ready for the game. We like to go one game at a time, and we know this is always a good matchup, so just focusing on preserving the shutout and to get the win.
Well, you had the first goal of the match in the 4th minute. Ella Caleno is doing a great job of setting tables for everybody. Walk us through that goal and how that happened. Ella posted up like a low-post basketball player, and she's not doesn't have the stature of a 6'8" post player in basketball, but she's still able to fight off defenders and give services to you, for example, in that first goal.
Yeah, no, we work on that a lot. That's one of the things the front line has been working on, so I think she did a great job being super unselfish. Obviously, goal didn't happen if Ella didn't make the right decision, so that was great on her part, and happy to see that our work is paying off.
And also, I want to mention, with WashU School, you guys are doing a great job offensively this season, but Cassidy Lanthier, if she doesn't make that save late in that first half, that could have been a very different outcome throughout the entire match, and so there was a great service, and she made a great stop.
Yeah, no, a lot of credit to our goalkeepers, all four of them. Worked super hard all week together. I think Cass has come up in some really big moments the past couple weekends, so super thankful for her. Obviously, our offense starts with our defense, so I think that was great and happy for her today.
2 second-half goals, one by Olivia Clemens, one by Heidi Fessler. Discuss the team speed from your point of view. As you watch, you've got great speed as well, but now we've got so many players that can accelerate to the ball to where other teams maybe only make one or maybe two passes at the most before you're able to converse. Talk about the team speed and how that has played well on your behalf.
Yeah, I think obviously it's one of our assets up top. I know Liv and Heidi have a great mindset coming off the bench and using their speed right away. They come off with a no-break mentality, and I think they're ready to run at them, which we saw from both of them, which was great. Good to see two underclassmen getting some goals in a big game. So.
Well, with the win today, you're 2 points clear now atop the UA standings, but still a lot of hard work remains. And any final thoughts about what happened today and how things unfolded?
I just think it was a great team win. We were training for it all week, and I think we went in with a great mentality. So looking forward to next weekend. All
right. Well, you want to say hi to Sophie as we are ready to hand off the microphone to your head coach, Jim Conlon?
Yeah. My parents are probably watching, and my sister, and probably my grandparents. So
okay.
All of them.
Well, Sophie, congratulations. Now, Avery for K-War wants to talk to you as well next door. So
thank you.
We'll let you interview with him, and then we'll have Jim Conlon coming to us, the head coach of WashU. 3-0 verdict today. Well, Jim, talk about what you wanted your team to achieve today. What kind of things were you focused on other than the win? Got an early goal to work with, but a great effort all the way around again by your players up and down the roster.
Yeah, I thought our actions and movements were in the offensive there were very good. Carnegie Mellon is very talented. We needed to be efficient with our movements and diligent with our defense, and I really thought our team did a nice job today.
Yeah, with the team speed that we mentioned, and also just a great positioning. And teams are having problems making even two passes to get upfield against your team, and that's a great credit to your positioning, and also the girls on the field just relentless in their pursuit of the ball.
Yeah, I think we got to give a lot of credit to our athletes for working so hard to get themselves physically ready to go, because what we ask of them on the field is not easy, and they're just putting in great shifts for the team.
How is it that Olivia Clemens and others, it seems, I say at some points, and maybe they're stick them on the top of the boots, but Olivia and the other players have a great ability to keep the ball at the feet, to be able to maneuver through defenders and keep the ball there to where they can then get a chance to shoot or deliver a pass. How does that skill develop?
Yeah, again, I think I give them a lot of credit for working hard when we're not in fall season to try and make sure their skills are ready for any moment that's presented to them. I thought we had some players on the field today, did a really nice job, but I thought we also had some players that we didn't call their number that were ready to do their job.
Well, 2 points ahead now, and still very early in the conference race, about midway through, I guess, obviously, but still a lot of work to be done. What are your thoughts as you watch this unfold to its entirety? What things are you taking away that you're pleased with, and what things maybe need to be addressed, if any?
Yeah, I mean, we got to look at the film, figure out how we're going to get better. The UA is very good this year, as always, and so we're just trying to make sure we're going one game at a time to put ourselves in positions of success. We're 3 games in, but there's 4 really big games to come left. So we're going to try and enjoy this one tonight and get back to work tomorrow.
That's amazing as a conference. 8 teams, all 8 teams nationally ranked. I mean, that doesn't happen very often, very rarely. And so, credit to the teams, the coaches involved in developing talent to where all 8 teams are nationally ranked and very viable contenders for the conference championship.
Yeah, all 8 could win it, and it's been a great ride so far, and we just got to keep going one game at a time.
Well, anybody else you want to make mention to or connect with here as we get ready to let you savor the victory here today?
Yeah, well, as always, my family, anyone who's watching, appreciate it. I'm sure Mom, Dad. But big thank you to Bear Nation. It warms my heart coming up the stands. There's 5, 8, 10 alums sitting together. This program's bigger than the players here in 2025, bigger than me. We just really, really appreciate all the support.
We appreciate the effort today and the victory that your Bears were able to engineer, 3-0 over Carnegie Mellon. Coach Collin, congratulations, and we'll see you down the line. But
you got it. Thank you, Jay.
Tremendous
Appreciate
victory
it.
today.
Thank you.
Head coach Jim Collin joining us here on on Flow Sports as we are getting. It's good to see because we, as you look out, and I'll try to get a camera on this, but it's a great family because not only do the Bears enjoy the victory, but there are a lot of young players from youth organizations that are talking with the players, and the players are more than happy to engage, give autographed pictures and things of that nature. And I just wanted to get a little bit of a sample of that as you look now. Bears supporting Bears weekend. It's Latina Heritage Day as well, but also there's been a lot of youth soccer players from around the area that have come out to watch WashU men and women, and it's great to see after this match that the Bears spending time with the youngsters. I see some youngsters with U City Soccer T-shirts on, and you never know. You impact a young player not only as the young player watches you on the field, but then as they see you come off the field and approach you with a smile and ask what your name is, and you gladly sign something for them. You never know. These youngsters may become future Bears. And I just wanted to make sure that I got a little bit of a glimpse of that for you as now the Bears will start heading to their locker room and start the cooling down process. There's a process to cool down to make sure that the muscles stay, intact, basically not intact, but want to make sure that there's no tightness that could lead to an injury, a pulled hamstring or a tendon or something like that. So the Bears will go through their stretching, their post-match stretching. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse of what these WashU ladies, they very much embrace the post-match experience. They come over to talk to the young kids that are watching today, and it's wonderful to see. And, I could at times in my life now as I'm 63 years old now, so it's almost kind of weird to think that I'm approaching my mid-60s. But just when I think that I'm going to have a get off my lawn moment and be grumpy old man, I look at our WashU Scholar champions in all of our sports and how engaging they are with the community. I think, we're going to be in pretty good shape here as we move forward. So no worries about being grumpy for sure when we have WashU Scholar champions making their impact here on campus and then ready to make an impact, a lasting one in their career of choice as they move from graduation onto their careers after being here at WashU. So just want to give you a little glimpse of that, and let's go ahead and give you one more. We'll go over the final numbers as far as the team stats are concerned. As we go from got several different functions going on my phone, as most fans do. All right, so let's take a look at the final numbers. Team stats. WashU had a big edge in shots, 14-3. Shots on goal, 7-2 in favor of WashU. Also a 7-2 edge in corner kicks for WashU. And unlike the first match in which the Carnegie Mellon men had a lot of corner kicks in the second half to utilize. Fortunately for WashU, they didn't materialize in goals, but Carnegie Mellon did have a stretch in where they were able to get some edge and possession time and quality chances on set pieces. The WashU women did not allow Carnegie to do that. 7-2 edge in corners, and the fouls, WashU 8, Carnegie Mellon 7. And so those are the team stats of note. Let's go over the individual numbers quickly before we bid you adieu for the rest of the weekend. For Carnegie Mellon, there's 3 shots today, 1 for Helena Locatelli. And then the one goal, the one shot that was very close to being a goal, Caroline Clowder had a shot, and actually one of the 2 shots on goal. The other one was Haley Peak had a shot on goal, and that was saved by WashU's Cassidy Lanthier. But if Clowder gets that tap in, and Lanthier made a great diving save on it to prevent that from being a goal. If that goes in for a goal, we're talking about maybe a different match altogether. But Lanthier's save gave WashU a 1-0 halftime lead, and the Bears eventually win 3-0. And those are the individual numbers as far as the offense for Carnegie Mellon. And Abby O'Connor, the goalkeeper, allowed 3 goals, made 4 saves. And the 3 goals she allowed were not her fault, just the excellence of WashU on parade here at Francis Olympic Field. For WashU, 14 shots total. 2 apiece for Sophie Viskovich, 2 for Maddie Foley, 2 for Cami Colpitz, 3 for Olivia Clemens, and then single shots by Monica Morales-Martinez, Heidi Fessler, Grace Ehlert, and Ella Coleno, and Kira Smyser, and those are the shot takers today. Shots on goal, 2 by Sophie Viskovich, 2 for Olivia Clemens, 1 apiece for Colpitz, Fessler, and Morales-Martinez, and the goals scored today by Sophie Viskovich, her 4th of the season. Olivia Clemens had a goal, her 10th, and Heidi Fessler had a goal to close things out, her 5th of the season. Assists today for Ella Coleno, 2 assists. She now has 9 on the season to lead the team in that department. And Cassidy Lanthier in goal, a clean sheet, no goals allowed, made 2 saves, faced 3 shots, and so she improves her mark to 7-0-0 on the season, or actually 7-0-1, check that. And she now has her 4th shutout of the season as well. So all's well that ends well this weekend, as Shakespeare once said, and we can apply that here to not only today's doubleheader of soccer, but also yesterday WashU's football team prevailed over Mother Nature as WashU was able to finally get at least one half of play in, defeating Elmhurst 17-0. And then today, much better weather, gusty winds, but the rain moved out finally, nice fall temperatures. A great day to watch soccer if you're a soccer fan here at Francis Olympic Field. And if you're a WashU Bear fan watching, you were very happy to see that the WashU Bears swept the doubleheader. The WashU men, number 4 in the country, won 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. So WashU now in first place. On the men's side, on the women's side, WashU won 3-0 over Carnegie Mellon. The number 2 Bears defeat the number 19 Tartans to close out a very successful weekend here at Francis Olympic Field of WashU victories. 1 in football last night and 2 with our soccer programs here today. So that'll do it as far as I'm concerned. And again, with our teams on the road next weekend, I have my Rhett Gets Rock 2025 Ultra Marathon, a solo ultra marathon that I do to raise money and awareness, raising research funds to defeat Rett syndrome. And so if you'd like to be a part of the quest for a cure, we're very close. There are 2 clinical trials underway that are very promising, one here in St. Louis at the Rett Spectrum Clinic at the WashU School of Medicine and the St. Louis Children's Hospital. Proceeds from my ultramarathon go to the Rett Spectrum Clinic and to the International Rett Syndrome Foundation. And if you would like to be a part of the quest for a cure, you can go to give.rettsyndrome.org. Rett is spelled R-E-T-T, /RGR 2025. So again, I'll give that to you in its entirety one more time. Give.rettsyndrome.org /RGR 2025. Any donation amounts would be greatly appreciated not only by yours truly, but also the families battling Rett syndrome. It's a very sinister disorder. Once it has its onset between 6 and 18 months of age, Rett takes away the ability of a child to walk and talk just as they're learning how to do those functions. And it also presents seizures that are very frequent, severe scoliosis, eating and drinking situation problems that sometimes result in pneumonia that can be life-threatening. It's a very sinister disorder. And once I learned about it, it just spoke to me. I needed to help in any way I could. So I'm in my 8th annual edition of the Rhett Gets Rocked Ultra Marathon. I'll be doing that this Friday, starting at 7 a.m. in my neighborhood, and I'll conclude Saturday evening at 7 p.m. And I'm trying to get to 100 miles in 36 hours. We'll see if I get that far, but the important thing is that trying to raise awareness and a further push to a cure of Rett syndrome. So I'll be doing that this upcoming weekend. I'll be at work in my regular job. I hope you have a great rest of this weekend, and hope you have a great week to come as well. But right now, let's enjoy some victories that have been posted by our WashU football team yesterday, 17-0 over Elmhurst. And then today, the WashU men in soccer win 1-0 over Carnegie Mellon. The WashU women likewise winning over Carnegie Mellon 3-0 to close out a very successful weekend of WashU sports here at Francis Olympic Field. Jay Murray with you. Thanks for joining me throughout. Love each other, be hearty strong, and until we talk again, so long from St. Louis.